Most YouTubers and podcasters are talking about all the cards that are going through the roof in price, and how if you listened to me a month ago, you'd have 3 times your return on your cards today. And that's all good and great. And I include myself in that category because we all want to make money and have fun doing this. But the problem is that when so much money, millions and millions of dollars, are getting pumped into this industry, pretty much everything is going up in price. So you don't have to be great to see a return right now. In fact, you don't even have to be good. You just have to not completely suck to see a return on your cards. And there's gonna be a point when there's a plateau and there's gonna be a valley. And just like real estate and stocks and everything else, CBD and Bitcoin and whatever, we gotta prepare ourselves for those valleys and not just assume that everything is gonna continue to rise the way it has. So in this video, I wanna share with you all the filters that I'm putting in place to ensure that I'll be able to not only survive, but also thrive during these valleys. Welcome back. Now let's get to work. Now, before I get into the filters, I want to mention that this is for me and the kind of investor I am, and this experience of investing in sports cards has really opened my eyes to how risk averse I am. I love sports cards. I love the personal side of it, the collecting side. So I do not want to lose money. I would rather gain less and risk less in order to always see profit or at least break even, versus swing for the fences and go for a huge return but then miss out, because that's just not the kind of investor I am. All right, with that being said, let's get into the filters. The first question I ask myself is, how proven is this player and what is this player's legacy if they were to retire today? So I will look up Hall of Fame probability. I will think to myself, if this player retired today, will they be remembered in a year and in 5 years, or will they just be forgotten about? If I'm relying on a player to improve and to get better and better, obviously there's more risk involved there. So it's not saying I won't invest in those players, but I won't be spending nearly as much money on a specific card of those players versus someone that I say, if they retire today, it's fine. They are gonna be remembered and they're gonna have a lot of opportunities in the future and they'll always be compared to. That's someone I feel a lot safer about investing in. The second filter is, does this player's upside outweigh their downside? So a guy I like to use is Tom Brady. He is the GOAT. His upside is still there because he is married to a supermodel. He can do whatever he wants after retirement. He could be in movies. He can be a sports commentator. He's a good-looking dude. He could be a male model, or a father figure forever. He has his TB12 brand. He can do a lot, and I bet he will do a lot in retirement. But at the same time, his short-term upside is that he can win a Super Bowl in Tampa and seal his legacy as even more of a GOAT. But if he doesn't win a Super Bowl, if this is a flop for the next 2 years, his downside is minimized, because I'll think of it more like Michael Jordan playing for the Wizards with Tom Brady playing for the Bucks, where he's still the GOAT. He still has his Super Bowls. You're not going to take it away, but there's still room for upside. The only downside would be if he turns out to be Aaron Hernandez's accomplice in a murder, or have his own underground dogfighting ring. Something like that, which would destroy his legacy as a person. But to me, that downside is very small, but his upside of what he's going to do for the next 20 years is huge. That's why I'm very bullish on Brady. Plus, it's Tom Brady. Like, come on. So personally, I like to look at players that have plenty of upside, but if they were to retire today, I could still see them doing things outside of sports. They're out of legal trouble. They're not like Antonio Brown or guys that are always involved with the law, or just people don't want to even associate with. I'd rather invest in good guys that I could see being a business owner or being in the public limelight as a speaker or something like that. Because I always like to think, okay, this is their career now, but what else is going to happen afterwards? Do they have that personality like Shaquille O'Neal or even Dwight Howard, who I could see being in movies or being on TV for a long time? Think of Michael Strahan. He was a perfect example. If he was a quarterback, I think his cards would be through the roof, because you have a dude that was a great football player, but then I think of Michael Strahan, the personality, way more than even the football player. The second series of filters have to do with the card itself. And the question I start off with is, why would a collector or investor buy this specific card? Whether it's MJ, Kobe, Tom Brady, LeBron, it still matters what card it is. Now, if it's a rookie card, obviously that is the standard. Everyone wants the rookie card of the player, at least that main rookie card. But when it's someone like LeBron James, any rookie card, any rookie year card would sell at a price. It's LeBron James, even second year card, Prism card. There needs to be, from an investor standpoint, there needs to be upside and enough transaction volume for an investor to say, yes, I see that I could liquidate easily and I believe this will go up. And from a collector, it needs to be something that's unique enough that draws them in from more of an emotional level. So one of my best examples is this 2005-2006 Topps Chrome Kobe card. Now, I love it because he's wearing a powder blue Lakers jersey, which I've not seen before. From a collector standpoint, I could see a collector saying, you know what, this is a random year card. It's 05-06. It's not his rookie year. It's not his final season. It's nothing like that. But that's a cool card because it's 05-06. Topps Chrome, from an investor standpoint, that's a iconic set right there. So I could easily say, you know what, that is a good card that I feel bullish about. Maybe I'm wrong, but I could say, show me another Kobe card with a powder blue Laker jersey where he's dunking, and maybe they're out there, but I've not seen many. So I feel very confident there, but that's tapping into the collector standpoint and then also the investor standpoint of, I need it to be liquid enough, I need to see transaction volume, and I need to know that I can be able to move it. Next, can I force appreciation? Now, in real estate investing, there's this term called forced appreciation, where you move into a house, and if you want it to go up in value, you can renovate a kitchen, you can turn a carport into a garage, you can turn the sunroom in the back into an extra bedroom or close off a dining room, and you're adding value by what you're doing to the card. So if you were to buy a raw card, the only way to force appreciation is to get it graded. Or if you get a card graded SG, like a GMA 10 or one of these off-brand 10s, submitting it and getting it a PSA 10, where you're actually driving up the value of the card by work that you're doing yourself. So I kind of like raw cards in that sense, because I look at a lot of these $10 and $8 and $12 cards and I say to myself, I understand why people aren't getting them graded because they're low-end cards, or they were low-end cards. But as a Topps Chrome or Topps Finest Refractor or whatever goes up in value, all of a sudden now it's going to be worth getting graded, because now it's a $15 or $20 card that if you get a PSA 10 on, now it could be a $70 or an $80 card. So that $10 of investment, even to get a 9, might bring back $15 or $20, but getting it at 10 could bring back $50. That is forcing appreciation, and it's a question I always ask myself. Another important question is, how much can this card go down? That is really important, because as money gets pumped into this industry, we're all looking at how much can it go up, and can it go up, and can it go up? But cards can go down. Trends happen, and players that are relevant for a year or 6 months, they can become irrelevant for whatever reasons. That's why I don't like buying hype. I don't like buying new players. I want that to cool off. I want proven results first. And when it's proven and they're a staple in the sport and in culture, then I feel good, because then I feel like the downside is very little. But when I hear of a Zion who had injury issues and I see all this hype around him, I'm like, his card could definitely go down. What if he's injured all of next year? What if he turns out to be really good, but he has a DUI or some sort of off the field, off the court issue? To me, I gotta weigh that downside, because there's nothing wrong with looking at upside and being optimistic, but practical optimism is good, but that comes with acknowledging what the downside potential can be as well. The next question I ask is this card on sale right now? I want to make sure I'm getting the best deal possible, because I don't have all the money in the world to invest at this moment. I have a good amount, but I don't want to say okay to good deals or decent deals, and that ties up money so that I have to turn down great deals and steals. Because if you have deep pockets and you could say yes to anything that's remotely good, then say yes to it all. But if your funds are limited, if you only have a couple $100 or a couple thousand, you want to ask yourself, is this card on sale? And that either means that the card is less than market value today, or it is at market value, but you have very strong conviction, very strong reason to believe that it will go up in value tomorrow. And that's pretty much a lot of the Jordan cards right before The Last Dance. They were at market value and then they popped up because of The Last Dance. Same thing with NBA playoffs or the football season and all this kind of stuff. So the way you determine it is up to you, but the question still remains, based on what I know about this player and what I know about this card and the trends I'm seeing, is this on sale? And if the answer is yes, I'll pull the trigger. If I'm not convinced that it is, I'll wait until I believe it is, or I'll just move on to another card. So an example would be all the $4 Kobe Topps Chrome cards that I get. Like the other example, it's pretty much, I'm seeing those cards sell for $8 to $15 on CompC, and I am buying them for $4 a piece. That means they are on sale. Now, at $4 a piece, I do not see them going down in value, period. And if they do, I will wait it out until it jumps back up. But for me, that is on sale. If the cards were being sold to me for 10 or 15 bucks, I would have to think, it's not on sale. However, do I believe a Topps Chrome Kobe card from the mid 2000s would go up again? If the answer is yes, I'll pull the trigger, but it's especially tempting when you know it's selling for a higher price on one platform and you can get it somewhere else at half the cost. Just before I jump into my next filter, I want to give a shout out to a couple badass subscribers who have joined me on this journey. Thank you so much for the engagement. You guys are Jason's Breaks, Brandon Chung, Chad Spencer, Big D, Mick G, 73, 5K subscribers without any videos, D Koo, Damon M, Al Kiss, Robert Chow, and Dodger 27. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. It really means a lot. And if you're a new subscriber or you're engaging, I want to shout you out because we are in this together. This is fun. This is the only way it's fun, is when we're doing it together. If not, I'm just talking to a camera for no reason. So thank you so much. Next filter I ask myself is there another investment opportunity available with the same profit potential but with lower risk? This is a game of opportunity cost. If you have $100, you want to make sure you're going to put it towards the highest upside with the lowest downside. And so I'll always look at cards and say, you know what, I think this is a really good investment, but the payoff might not be for another 6 months or 8 months. And I would rather have that same ratio of upside to downside on something that can pay off in a month or two, because then I have more money to roll over into that longer term investment. And that's just the game. That is the fun part of investing, is really saying yes to the steals, always having money for the best deals available, but also not turning down good deals. But that's the balance. The more money we have in, the more we could say yes to anything good. The less money we have to play with, the more strategic we have to be with our deals. But always think, okay, is this the best move with my money right now, or should I explore another player or another card? Next, I ask myself, can I afford to hold out indefinitely? In case I do not sell at the profit that I would like, am I either willing to sell at a break-even price just to recoup my money? Could I do it? Is it liquid enough? And if not, am I okay just holding on to these cards? And a perfect example would be my 30 raw Reggie Miller cards that, in hindsight, I wish I just bought them PSA 9 and bought 6 of them PSA 9 rather than 30 of them raw, because of how easy it is to liquidate a graded card. And I'm okay holding it. I bought them for $8 a piece on average, and if I sell 1 a quarter, 3 a quarter, whatever, I'm okay with it. I can afford to hold it. But if the answer is no, then that means, all right, it's pretty risky, because that means you'll have to liquidate at either no profit or even a loss, and that's not fun. The last question I ask myself is, can I enjoy this card as a collector? If I am stuck with this card and it's not going to give me a profit, I can't liquidate it, or it's going to be a long time, can I look at it? Can I smile? Can I feel good? And if I look at my Kobe's and my Tom Brady's and anything Orlando Magic or anything from my childhood, the answer is yes. If it's Paul Pierce or Pau Gasol or Kevin Garnett or some of the players I just despise, even though they're great players, I hated something about them, the answer is hell no. I would rip those cards up, I'd give them away. So those are not cards that I would invest in, because I want that insurance policy of I can hold on to it, I can enjoy it, I could look at it, I could show it off, and I could be proud in my investments and as a collector. Those are my filters that I use personally to minimize risk and hedge against any craziness that happens in the market. Let me know what you think of this video in the comments section. Pound that like for good karma during your next box break, and I'll see you in the next video.